and gentlemen, welcome. It is Thursday night, and you all know what that means. It is time for another Smashbros AMA brought to you by The Daily Dot. I am your intrepid host, Ian Doublejohn Barker. My co-host, unfortunately, could not be with me tonight. Left Guy, as you've so affectionately dubbed him, is in California, but Left Guy will be back as soon as we can get him in the left spot. Joining me tonight is yet another beautiful, brilliant Smash guest, I have to say, and one of my favorite Falco players, to be completely frank, Julian Zoo. Zoo, how you doing, man?
You think I'm beautiful?
I do. I said it, all right? It's out there. I can't take it back now. We just have to live with it.
I'll take it. I am doing very well. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for the support. Thank you guys for doing this AMA series. It's awesome.
Thank you.
And I think I'm the third guest. Is that right? Or?
You are. Yep, you are the third guest. We've got a couple other guests, but we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about you. Keep the spotlight on yourself, man. This is all. Tonight is all about you, and it's all about the questions that the fans have decided to ask you all week. We've had a thread up on our Smash Brothers. The mods have so graciously put that up for us. You've gone to that thread and you've asked your questions and upvoted your favorite ones, and we are bringing you the top voted questions from the week, and as we do every week, and if you enjoy the show, we've got a couple more. Axe and PPMD were on the show previously, but this week is Zoo, and this week we've got a fresh new batch of questions. Zoo, are you ready, sir?
I'm not sure, but let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Ready as you'll ever be, right? So let's go ahead and hit you with that first question from the Smash Brothers AMA thread. First, coming at you from Yearbook Throwaway 1, friend of the show. Yearbook Throwaway 1 asks, from what I understand, and this is a doozy, you recently quit your job as an engineer to pursue Smash full-time. No offense to you as a player, because you're better than most players will ever be. But usually Smash as a career has been something reserved for players like Mango or Armada, who can confidently rely on consistent tournament winnings as income. Do you think the trend of more content creators doing Smash full-time will continue? And what do you think the Smash community needs to do to continue that trend? If you didn't follow all that, I can gladly repeat some of it for you.
Yeah, it's a multi-part question, but yeah, I definitely agree that like right now I'm not making like the income that Mango or Armada are making, because I'm not sponsored. I'm not like, I don't have like a salary. I don't win like Evo and like get thousands of dollars, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so right now I think Smash is in a state where only a few players can support themselves full time, like, and actually like make a comfortable living off of it. I think that as Smash grows, there's going to be more room for creators or commentators or maybe even like coaches. So for me, I'm actually not I'm not relying on Smash as a form of income for me. Like I quit my job to pursue Smash and also esports like on like a greater level. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it is I'm going to be doing as well, like with regard to Smash or esports. I'm still trying to figure that out. So for me personally, I'm taking time off to pursue the kind of field of esports to see where I fit in. So I think that kind of answers the first part. Did I get all of that? Is that good? Or
no, absolutely. I'm curious to hear you expand on just the idea of fitting into esports. Of course, one of your most famous creations, as we were even talking about before the show, is Friendly, the selfie parody, which I can go ahead and throw it up on the screen for us. Very famous video. Is that the sort of thing that you're looking to pursue, this sort of video content, or are you looking just to see where you fit in general?
Yeah, I think I have been doing a lot of like video type stuff recently, and I definitely enjoy it a lot. But like I don't have like a film background or anything like that. So I think there are a lot of other guys out there who like actually study film who have a huge advantage on me. So I don't know if that's necessarily like the most like effective thing that I can contribute to esports. I think I'll still continue to do it for fun, but I don't know if I'll be able to make a living off of that, even if I wanted to.
One of the most interesting things I'm actually hearing from what you're saying is you refer specifically to, maybe I won't do film because I don't have a film background. It sounds at the very least like whatever you do, you need to feel confident in your knowledge base about it. Is that sort of just how you approach games and just in your pursuits in general?
Wow, that's a very deep question. Oh my god.
We do it right here on the Smash Brothers AMA.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, You know what? I think the way I play Smash is very reflective of the way I approach things in general. I actually have a story with that. When I first got to Philadelphia, and I played Cactuar with Falco a lot, and like he noticed that I was very comfortable at the corners. Like I would try to fight from the corner a lot, and that's not necessarily like a good position, but he just noticed that like I'm very comfortable just being on the side of things, not being so much in the middle. I thought about it, and like that's where I tend to gravitate towards in real life. Like if I take a picture, if you look at any group picture that I'm in, I'm always on the side corner. And like when I enter a room, I like to hug the walls, things like that. I think there is a huge relationship between like the way I approach the game with like my actual core personality. So yeah, I think with whatever I want to pursue in esports, or like just whatever I'm figuring out right now, I think it does have to be something I'm like confident in, that I feel like that I have maybe even like an upper hand compared to other people. Otherwise, it's kind of like I'm taking, I want to take the path of least resistance. I want to like, do what I think I'm best at. And I'm at an age where I don't know if I can experiment for that much longer either. I don't have that much time. So yeah, I definitely have a lot to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting to hear you say that, because I remember recently at a recent tournament hearing, it may have actually been either Toph or Scar, make the comment that you can tell a lot from somebody based on the way that they play Melee. And I sort of, when I heard that initially, I sort of went, well, okay, I mean, maybe. But now to hear you say that now, perhaps there's something to that.
Yeah, definitely. I think for a very long time, my Falco was considered very safe. And just methodical, and I guess that's how I approach like life and things in general. But I did kind of quit my job to pursue esports, so I don't know how true that is anymore. Yeah. I think that kind of goes in with the second part of that question, because I think it was the last question was like, what does the community need for like content creators and other people to also make a living? Was that right?
Yeah, you nailed it. Excellent memory as well.
So I had this, I had a talk with Metric, who is a studying sports psychology, like a master's student. And like, he works with people in other esports as kind of like a coach type of thing. Or I think a mental skills trainer. I think that's his official title. But he was saying that for Smash, like what Smash needs the most right now is for it to be treated as a professional thing. I think a lot of people who play Smash and people who watch Smash like view Smash as kind of like a hobby job almost. Like it's not a profession like the way being like a basketball player is, or even being like a musician or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Smash and even like other esports, they're just not really there yet.
Yeah, and maybe that speaks a little bit to the fact that, for example, whereas League of Legends players get paid a regular salary, you guys literally, you can be in a bracket of 200 plus people and walk away with nothing. And in fact, most people walk away with nothing.
Yeah, me included, because not Mango. Yeah, I think it'll take time. Like there definitely are players with salaries. And even if they don't place, they still get money, right? And people are able to make some bit of like a living off of streaming and stuff. And I think as time goes on and as like our culture just accepts like esports as like an actual like competitive like thing, I think there's going to be more money, more acceptance, and as a result, there's going to be more and more players who will be able to do this full time, and not just players, but like content creators and commentators and like people working at companies that revolve around esports.
Certainly. And it's fascinating to hear that you have such a big picture perspective on the whole thing. And speaking of big picture, when it comes to your place in the big picture, I think that knowingly or unknowingly, one place where people really know you is from the Wombo Combo, the infamous Wombo Combo that unfortunately you were on the receiving end of. And that actually leads us into our next question, which is Jetslag asked, if the Wombo Combo didn't happen to you, what event would be most associated with you?
So GR Smash had a top 10 poor zoo moments. Sort of just one of those other 9, because there's so many like bad things that's happened to me. Yeah, there's so many bad things that's happened to me over time that's been recorded that like I feel like it doesn't even matter that it was the Wombo Combo. It could have been any of those other clips. um, but I don't know. I think if there was one thing, maybe my set against Mewtwo King at Genesis, that was the like career defining moment for me. At least that was like my turning point as like a top player. Like that set by itself basically like made people think I was a top 10 player for a while. So yeah, I think it would probably be that set. And if we're talking, I guess something more recent, then maybe the friendly video, which I still get references here and there. Like I don't know, I'll like sit down at like a station or something, and someone will make like a friendly joke, like, "Oh, I gotta go, but first, like, whatever, let me play a friendly." So,
well, to your credit, a couple things I want to bring up. The first one is that despite having what sounds like some obvious misfortune in your some misfortune that you identify and then maybe sticks with you, it doesn't seem to have dampened your spirits at all. You seem to have a good sense of humor about the things that have happened that led to that poor zoo tag.
Yeah. I mean, so I think the Wombo Combo is okay because I can actually defend myself as a player. I think if I just had like a bunch of bad tournaments after that, it could have been really, really bad, and I could have been really discouraged. But like I feel like most people will joke about it because they know that I'm like a pretty good player. Mm-hmm. So I'm really lucky. There's actually another thing with the Wombo Combo that could have made it a lot worse. So right before Silent Spectre gets that knee, I had my thumb like on the pause button. Like I almost like rage quitted out right before he killed me. Now I don't know if pause was like turned off, but if it was turned on, like there was like a 50-50 chance I would have just like rage quitted out. And I think that would have been the nail in the coffin. Like I think people can joke about it because it's like funny and I get comboed and it's whatever, but like if I actually rage quitted out, then like for sure like the reception to the Wombo Combo would have been a lot more negative, and I think I would have taken it a lot more personally. But otherwise, it's just like this funny thing. I can say that like I'm essentially like a meme. I'm like a part of this really, really big thing because like it's an 8 million like view video, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, if you hit pause in that moment, an entire piece of jargon in the world of esports simply doesn't happen. I mean, and to be fair, you were in the middle of that combo, but I don't know of a lot of people that from the outside looking in would look at that and put blame on you for that. It was sort of an extraordinary event that's become this thing, It's like the kid who gets hit in the kid who's walking along the back of the basketball court and he gets hit in the head with the basketball. Like nobody blames that kid for being there. It was just an extraordinary circumstance.
I'll just say there was nothing I could have done.
Yeah. I mean,
it could have been Mango.
It could have been Mango.
Could have been Armada. If Armada was in my spot, it would have been the same thing.
And it would have been a lot worse, I think. But the fact that you're sort of able to roll with it is certainly admirable. So then you've got your set with Mewtwo King. That's what you would be most associated with. The question that I would ask on top of that is, what is it you hope to one day be most associated with?
I think I'm still kind of figuring that out. I think one thing that Cactuar and I are really trying to work on is really trying to figure out how to help other people improve at Smash. Oh my God, come on.
I'm just giving you crap, man.
No, wait. I'm gonna. Oh, okay.
You want to watch it? You want to watch it? We can watch the Wombo Combo. Yeah, let's all watch the Wombo Combo. Why not? Yeah, there it is.
Why not? It's a live viewing. Oh.
There you go. See, I mean, once again, you look at that, and nobody is going to look at that situation and go, "Oh, what an idiot!" Like it's like being caught in the middle of a tornado in the countryside. At that point, it's it's almost beyond your control, and obviously, people associate much more positive things with you since then.
Yeah, I hope so.
They do. I promise. And I mean, obviously, you're on the show. There's a lot of people who are tuning in, who tune into the thread to ask you questions. So just rest assured that your legacy lives on well beyond an internet meme. Moving on to our next question, we should probably keep the show trucking. I apologize for all the small talk, but Lol CEO, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, says, "You've been talking about it for a while. When are you gonna make the switch to Fox? What exactly is keeping you from making the switch to Fox?"
Done. I've since Smash at PAX, I've basically not played Falco at all. I think I need a break from Falco. There are certain things about just like the character that I just have not been able to accept. I think PP in particular, when people ask him about like, you know, like how do you deal with like Falco's weaknesses? Well, it's just you kind of have to ignore them, or not ignore them. Sorry, just like accept them and focus on like the positives and like figure out ways to get over the disadvantages. But I'm not as good of a person as he is, so I kind of just keep getting frustrated with it. But yeah, I think for a while I'm going to play purely Sheik and Fox. Those are the two characters that I'm looking into right now. Man, Falco's... So there's like the whole like character loyalty thing, and like, I don't know, Falco to me is kind of like my high school sweetheart that like, you know, I had like a great start with, and like Falco's done so much for me, but like times change and like people change, and like like sometimes it's just not meant to be. Like, you know, like, and I really try to make it work, but like I think it's time for me to see other people. Falco, like, there's just.
Are you breaking up with Falco live on Twitch? He'll be devastated.
There's a place in my heart for Falco, but I have to see other people for a while. I have to know that like Falco's the one. I don't know if you are Falco.
You know, don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened at all, right?
Yeah.
You made some memories. That's what matters.
Exactly. But yeah, sometimes it's just not meant to be. I think I'm in a period where I'm figuring that out for myself. But you know, the great thing with Falco is that like, you know, I've left Falco for a little bit, but Falco's always there waiting for me. Yeah. He's just always there. Yeah. He'll be there in case I come back for him. So it's all good.
There you go. What a loyal fellow. All right, moving on to our next question. A regular contributor to the show, My Post Has asked Zoo, being a part of Smash practice and understanding the ins and outs of the game, what do you believe is the most efficient way of practicing and why?
Well, my answer is no.
Well played.
I think Cactuar and I are still trying to figure that out. I think there are some things that we think are very helpful. My personal answer is I think that first and foremost, if you are improving at a rapid rate just by playing the game and not even analyzing at all, that might just be your style. And I would say like roll with it, honestly. I don't think the whole like textbook approach is for everyone. Everyone learns in different ways. So, I mean, like Melee is great because you have like these people who find success in all these different ways, whether it's like studying frame data or just by playing a lot or just by watching other people play. So if whatever you're doing is working, I would say keep doing it, unless you think there is like something specific that would benefit you. But for the people who like just play a lot and don't find that they're improving, like me, for example, you know, like I can't just play and just like automatically just get better. I have to actually study the game. There definitely are a few things that you can do. I think there's two parts in practicing. One is figuring out like what you want to practice, like identifying like what it is will give you the like greatest return, given the amount of time and like effort you have to put in. So that requires quite a bit of understanding of the game, understanding like your own flaws or your own advantages that you need to push. So whether that's like a tech thing or like a strategic thing or like a mindset thing, the first part is like identifying that and identifying the thing that will help you the most. And then I would say the second part is actually like practicing it and implementing it into your game. So one thing, we're actually going to release a video on this. It has to do with goal setting. But I think a common thing is like setting like SMART goals, which, man, I don't remember the acronym exactly.
No one does.
Yeah. Wait, let me look it up really quick.
No, you do. I think it is SMART goals. I know that one is measurable, accountable, time-based, and S and R are up to you. I don't know.
So we got specific.
Okay, there it is.
I think everything is pretty self-explanatory, so I'll just say them. But like specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound.
There you
So whatever it is you decide to like practice, make sure that it fits all of those 5 categories. So you don't want them to be too vague or, oh, okay, now I'm getting into it. But just that it matches the smart, the 5 things that I mentioned, and yeah, like it's hard because the end goal is like playing in a tournament, right? Because I think everything kind of revolves around playing in a tournament. Like that's what we actually count as like, oh, you actually like know how to do this technique or this thing. So if you have a hard time like implementing whatever it is you're practicing in tournament, take a step back. Maybe instead of doing a tournament, do a money match. And then, if you're not comfortable with that, go down to friendlies. And then if you're not comfortable with that, do it in training mode. But yeah, those are the 2 things I would say: identifying what it is, and then set goals for yourself, smart goals, and then I guess like working your way up to doing it in tournament.
It sounds like this isn't just good advice for Smashers. It sounds like these are the sort of principles that could be applied across esports in general.
Yeah, absolutely, and just like life in general too, like learning anything really, because smart is not anything new. I'm sure whatever I said is like a very basic like sports psychology thing or something, but I think a lot of people don't really like put conscious effort in the way they practice. A lot of people just like play a lot of matches or just like go into training mode and kind of just like push buttons as fast as they can, which I think that can be very helpful for a lot of people, but I think that your training regimen and the things that you put time into can be more time efficient for a lot of people out there.
I remember a famous example of efficient practice was Stefano back in the days of StarCraft 2. He famously would play for only 3 hours a day. But I remember his big legacy is that he would hyper-focus on a very specific piece of his play. And, I think the results spoke for themselves. So it's fascinating once again to hear you say that. And you say, perhaps it's something that's been said in sports psychology, but, perhaps what esports needs right now and what you can contribute to esports is that sort of common sense advice that doesn't exist right now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that stuff does exist, but it's like, it hasn't really been related to Smash. And so a lot of people, like, maybe they're busy studying matches or, doing whatever they normally do, but like that kind of information isn't very accessible. And that's actually something that Cactuar and I are specifically working on. Like we're going to be putting out a video on motivation and that whole like goal setting thing, specifically related to Smash. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think that kind of thing will be very, very big in Smash if Smash is going to get big, especially if Smash is like going to be treated as a profession. I think like the existing sports psychology and like psychology things needs to be applied to Smash. Otherwise, I think people are going to get stale and like the game won't get pushed farther and farther and farther.
You bring up a couple of your videos that are coming out. Where can people find those videos?
YouTube Smash Practice, that's our channel. Okay. Unfortunately, we made our channel a little bit newer, so like in YouTube, I think older channels have like YouTube/users/channel, but ours is just some crazy GUID. But yeah, just search Smash Practice on YouTube and you'll find us.
Excellent. Any idea when those videos are going to be coming out?
The motivation video in particular should be out early next week, I would say.
Okay.
So yeah, look for that.
Awesome. You heard it here first. Or second. I don't know. You heard it here. That's what matters, right? Moving on to our third question, we've got another one from My Post Has. My Post Has actually contributes several excellent questions to this show on a regular basis. My Post Has asks, in comparison to Fox, we're getting technical here, what are Falco's advantages/disadvantages and vice versa? Meaning Fox's advantages and disadvantages to Falco. So it sounds like he's they're asking for a comparison of the two characters. And the second part of the question is, do you believe Fox is flat out the better character, or does playstyle hold a big role in it?
Yeah, Fox and Falco are definitely very different. I'd like to think of Falco and Fox are it's like the vertical and horizontal versions of each other, kind of. Like Falco's combos are more like vertical oriented, Fox's are more horizontal oriented. And with their shines, so Falco's shine sends up, Fox's shine sends sideways. Falco's advantages are obviously his laser. That's like the huge thing that he has, is that he can control someone and basically force a reaction out of an opponent from across the stage or from like a very, very far like distance. So that allows him to basically like set traps a lot better than other characters can, because he can like basically force an action out of his opponent. Falco's Shine does more damage, so his shield pressure, his Shine grab actually is better than Fox's Shine grab because it's just more like shield safe, I think. Other than that, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like Falco just has like like he has lasers, he can lock down opponents better. I don't know. I'm a little biased because like I've been seeing Falco as this like very negative thing recently, so I don't know if I'm the right person to ask. But like Falco's disadvantages definitely include his like movement. His like dash is like really puny and slow. Like there aren't too many things that you can do with his dash, like compared to other characters, especially Fox. Falco, okay, this I don't think matters to a lot of people, but like for me, it really bothers me that Falco's jump squat is 5 frames instead of 3. So when you press the jump button, your character enters this like squatting animation, and like every character has like their own like jump squat like frame data. So when Fox jumps, or when Fox enters jump squat, it's only 3 frames. Falco's is 5, I believe. So that's like 2/3. That's like 66% slower. Yeah. That's like insane. So I like that actually like makes a huge difference because like I can't do wave dash out of shield as quickly. Like I like shine, like wave shining is like a little bit slower. Like just all these different things are just like slightly slower, and it like really bothers me because I'll play other characters and they have better jump squats. I'm like, why isn't Falco this fast?
I mean, you lose 2 frames here, 2 frames there. At a certain point, it becomes a pretty big difference between the 2 characters, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the overall feel. I think like for a very long time, it didn't really bother me. But now that like Melee is super fast, like just being able to jump a little bit like a little bit faster feels like a huge advantage to me. I don't know. But yeah, with Fox, he has better movement. His dash in particular is very, very threatening, while Falco's is not really. But Falco can threaten with his lasers from far away. So that's the trade-off. Fox has a harder time setting up for grabs, I think, but his throws are stronger. Like his throws, he has like a up throw, up air, and like up throw, back air, and all these different things that link. Falco's throws are very like DI dependent. They're more like DI traps. So like with Falco, it's easier to set up those throws, but you have to be like a little trickier with the way you actually follow up with those throws. So I think for me, I would rather just like work a little bit harder to get the grab and then have like a guaranteed punish or a kill than repeatedly setting up a throw and then having to like mix up my opponent in some way. And like a lot of times, if someone knows how to DI Falco's throw properly, like you can't even get anything off of it. So I don't know.
No, that's perfect. Yeah. I think you answered the question very well. And as long as we're talking shop, we'll go ahead and hit you with another shop question. Phoenix Wang asks, please talk about your usage of the single hit up air. When do you use it versus / instead of a soft AC bear to continue a combo?
So I'm just gonna put this out there. Like I think a lot of people think that I came up with the single hit up air into Shine or up tilt, whatever. I actually got that from, oh man, it was either Raynex or Unknown, but one of the Canadian Foxes. But I just want to give them a shout out because I don't think I ever have. So super shout outs to them. I saw that in one video and I just like, that gave me so many ideas. But I don't know that I would really, like, the only situation where I would be able to get the single hit up air is if, like, I am able to, if my opponent is near the ground and I can, like, hit that single hit up air, like, right before I land on the ground. Otherwise, I don't think I would personally really use auto-cancel back air. Excuse me. Most people still have a hard time, like, smash DIing out of the single hit up air. Maybe I would probably switch to auto cancel back air, soft auto cancel back air if people are getting out of my single hit up air. But yeah, I would almost always just default to that because that, like, if they don't DI it properly, it like it guaranteed links to like either up tilt or Shine, which for me is better than soft auto cancel back air setting up for, like, I guess if they DI to live, then I can get another hit. but most of the time, I would say people are like doing a combo DI, and that would set up for like a tech chase. And I would much rather get a guaranteed hit, shine or up tilt, versus like an aerial or a tech chase. So
it sounds like you've put some thought into it. No, yeah, excellent. Yeah, okay, so we've got sort of a series of questions in a row that are very technical, and I love that. I think it's great that we're able to get them, right in a little row so people can check out this part of the video for some very thorough Falco knowledge, by the way. Thank you so very much for that. Phoenix Wang has another question regarding Falco specifically. Do you go for the DI trap back throw based on stage positioning / opponent habits? What kind of situations do you look for before going for back throw instead of the traditional up throw?
So I barely use back throw. I think there are some clips where like I repeatedly back throw someone, and I literally only do that when like I feel like the other person is like super panicked. Mm-hmm. I think the two cases were like Lunan from a really long time ago and Chillin' Dude. So yeah, I underuse back throw. Like I remember playing Mewtwo King, and like I would have him in a setup where like if I back threw Mewtwo King, he would be off the stage. And I would up throw him, and that would lead into nothing. And Mewtwo King was like, you should just back throw instead. And so I guess the answer is, like this isn't from my own personal experience. This is from Mewtwo King telling me this, but just like, you should just typically just like back throw if like if you're in a position where back throw would send them like off the stage or towards the edge, usually just go for that, honestly. I think it's also character dependent. Like against fast fallers, like depending on how they DI, you can possibly get like a 4-tilt or like a regrab or something like that. But yeah, I personally don't really. Honestly, I just haven't put that much thought into this one, so I don't have a great answer, and I don't wanna mislead you into anything. So
it sounds like it's all about setting up, your follow-up options, your punishment options. Maybe something to explore later. Maybe you're not done with Falco. Maybe there's still some fire to rekindle in that relationship.
No. I'm gonna go throw every time, and it's always gonna lead, and I'm gonna be happy. Forget Falco.
I love it. Well, let's go ahead and head on to our 8th question of the night. We're sort of trucking along, and this is also Phoenix Wang. Phoenix Wang is a big fan of yours. I can very much tell. Phoenix Wang asks, what does a bait do against you that is so effective in neutral? I feel like your playstyle really shuts down characters that rely on speedy ground movement, but you always lose to a bait. On that same note, what are Falco's strengths and weaknesses against Luigi? Please go into excruciating detail if possible.
Jesus. So I've only played a bait once, and that was a pretty close set. So I don't know. But Luigi is a matchup that I'm not like super strong in. But I see what Phoenix Wang is getting at, because Luigi's like, his only form of movement is just like wave dashing like on the stage, like, going crazy, and like laser shuts that down really well. Yeah, I don't know. When I played a bait in a Tennessee tournament like a few months back, and I don't know, I wasn't super familiar with like the matchup. Like I was getting shield grabbed a lot. Like Luigi's combos on Falco are pretty strong, and I wasn't super familiar with like how to DI his combos and like how to get the tech patterns, because I wasn't super familiar with the Luigi like combo tree. So I don't know. I don't have a great answer for this. Again, it's not a matchup that I have that much experience in. Yeah, I might have to pass on this one too.
That's fine. This is all about you and your knowledge. And if you're not familiar with Luigi, let's be honest, there's probably not a lot of theory crafting going into or labbing against Luigi players right now. But look out. Maybe the solution to 20XX is Luigi.
Fox, yep,
Probably
definitely
not.
Fox. Shine, shine. Don't even think about it. It's done.
Just shine it. Just love it. So heading on to our next question, X Fawkward asks, as one of the few top-level Falcos, what do you consider distinguishes your playstyle from the likes of Westballs, PPMD, and Mango? What elements of their gameplay do you feel you've implemented into your own game, and what do you do differently that others could learn from you?
So Wes is, out of all the Falcos right now, Wes has by far the best shield pressure. He's like very comfortable doing his like double shine into like Waveland. So Wes actually does double shine into Waveland forward, which I really, really agree with. It's way better than Wavelanding down because that is very shield grabbable. Him Wavelanding past his opponent and like putting himself behind his opponent is super good because he's no longer vulnerable to that. So props for him for doing that consistently. It's super hard to do. But yeah, Wes in particular has really good shield pressure. He's very good at counter hitting. I think he in particular is really good at like going in and putting himself in a scramble position, which is just like, you know, two people just like in the fray, two people not really having like a very specific like action or like it's just like two people in a rumble and like Wes tends to like come out on top. So I think Wes is very, very good at that in particular. And he ends up getting a lot of exchanges off of that. PP is... PP, I think, he has very good like set plays. Like, his like Yomi layers is really, really well thought out. Like, his like first, second, and like third layer is like very, very simple, but like very, very targeted towards like his opponent's like I guess reaction. So like he'll have like this first layer that covers like all these things, and then a second layer is like designated to cover like exactly these things that like his like first layer doesn't cover. So he just has Falco like really well thought out. I think a lot of other Falcos attempt to do something like that, but I don't think they have as good of idea as like what they're trying to cover. It's something that I wish I like knew a little bit better because I try to like emulate it and I think like, oh well, I'll laser, and it's like, okay, well, laser dash dance covers this, and then like my next layer covers that. But then like I always get either outplayed or like my action just doesn't cover as many good things as PP's does. So like he's just got like the fundamentals really, really well figured out. And like Mango, I don't even know if like Mango's Falco is really like a Falco. I feel like all of Mango's characters it's just like Mango.
Yeah.
It's not a Falco. So like the way he plays Falco to me feels like it's like his Fox, but a little bit slower with like a laser that allows him to like lock down his opponents from far away. Because like the way he like does his shield pressure and the way he does his like his chases are much like Fox. He's not going for like situations where he's like frame positive. And like, oh, like me doing this double shine will guarantee me to have like this slight advantage on someone. It's like, no, he does these things to like get a player to like do a player specific reaction, and then he follows up. So he plays, I feel like he plays players more than matchups. So yeah, I think those are the differences. As for what other people can learn from me, you guys should all just pick Fox. No, I don't know.
Do you need a hug champ?
I think my edge guarding against certain characters is a little bit better. Like I have like I think I do like that Marth. I have like a certain Marth killer setup on Marth. That's pretty good. That I don't see a lot of other people doing. Like when I see like the other Falcos fight against Marth, they'll kind of just like let Marth come back without really challenging them, or they'll challenge them in like a very, very like aggressive, risky way. Mm-hmm. So there are certain setups like that I think I do slightly better, but I don't know. That's a pretty minute thing overall. PP, Mango, and Wes in particular are all definitely just like better players and better Falco mains than I am. So I don't know if they have that much to learn from me.
You brought up a term that I wanted to stop and explore for a second. You brought up the term Yomi. And I think it's so cool to hear that in the Smash context because I know that that's a concept that's explored with some depth, particularly in the conventional fighting games world. So, you know, Street Fighter, the anime games, things of that nature. Could you just for a second, for our viewers who aren't familiar with the term, explain what Yomi is? Oh, man. Like, Cactuar had me read Serlin's, like, Play to Win, and I don't actually, like, I don't think I would be able to define it completely correctly, but my understanding of it is like it's just like different layers of your like game. Like your first layer, you have like your first layer, like your default layer, like the first thing that you do, and then like let's say your opponent ends up beating that. Well, then you have your like second layer, which beats your opponent's first layer, and then I think it has to do with like you can mix up
between your first and your second layer, and if those two layers are strong enough, you won't really need another mix-up, or it was something like that. Okay, again, this is something that I kind of like read very briefly about.
Sure.
So I don't know if I should be like defining this.
Well, one great example I've heard of it, if you watch any soccer or football for our European viewers, is the idea that, for example, in a penalty shootout, you know, the goalie knows that I go left, so I know he's going to go left, so I'm going to go right. But he knows I'm going to think that he's going to go right, so I'm going to go left anyway. Yeah, and there's that layer upon layer upon layer of predicting your opponent's decisions based on your tendencies and then making different ones to sort of outplay. Then, of course, it's hilarious when they go through that thought process and kick it square into their chest. I mean, that happens too.
It's like rock, paper, scissors, I guess. Like the
that's a great way.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Now, there's a game that's seen some strategic development in the past 10 years. I think we can all agree. Excellent. Well, I appreciate that. Well, let's go. Off the shop top. Thank you so much for speaking at length about those questions. And let's go into a little bit about your career and your memories. No Life Cat asks, what is your favorite Smash set ever?
I think my favorite set was PC versus Mewtwo King at OC3. Mm-hmm. That was my first national tournament, and like my first time seeing a lot of like the pro players. And this was Mewtwo King's breakout tournament. So like this is when he switched from Marth to Fox, or from Fox to Marth. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. And then he busted out this Marth, and it was completely different from like anything anyone's ever really seen. At least for me at the time. I think some people got to see it at some other tournaments, but like for the vast majority of people, no one's seen anything like this, where he would be like chain grabbing people like 0 to death consistently in a way that Ken wouldn't. Like his aerial spacing and his down tilt cancels, and like he did this like wave dash into fast fall grab the ledge that like no one's really ever seen up until that time. Like for me, seeing Mewtwo King do all of those things and just like beat everyone super bad, like he took 16 stocks against the second best crew in a crew battle at OC3. Like that's how insane his Marth was. Mm-hmm. Like seeing that lose to PC Chris, like Mewtwo King didn't even win the tournament. Like even though Mewtwo King, I think, was the most feared player at that tournament, PC still won. So for me, that was like very memorable because it's like, okay, I came in like seeing, and I actually played Mewtwo King's Marth. Like just, there's like this monster that no one's ever seen before. And then like, you see PC play this like really cool, stylish Fox and just like beating Mewtwo King anyways. That to me was insane. And it was also like my first national tournament, so it was like my first time traveling. And like I got to experience like sleeping over at the venue and like playing all night and all of those things. And it all led up to that like insane grand finals. I remember like so OC3 was held in like a warehouse. So they had like these like, you know, like those like rolling stairs that like if you imagine like a Costco, there's like,
oh, sure. Yeah, they use them to get to different shelves and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The crowd was like so large, and back then we didn't really have a stage.
Yeah.
That I just like climbed up one of those stairs so I could watch the grand finals. And
you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, and like I'm like 15 or something, and like I'm climbing these stairs. I'm by myself, and I'm watching this match, and it was just awesome. I don't know. Yeah, I need to go watch that set again. But yeah, that's my most memorable set. It's
incredible how many of those really just historic moments in the history of Smash Brothers have sort of, existed at a time before esports had a well-established system of, posting VODs in a regular place, publicizing them on Twitter on a regular basis. It's, you're reaching clear back to the time when, it was when Smash was really still growing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing like it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched those videos, and then like those videos, the actual matches, like they didn't come out for a couple months because it was like on DVD and stuff. Like different times for sure.
Yeah, no kidding, absolutely. Well, it's fascinating to hear that piece of Smash history, and for you to get to be there and experience it. I had the extreme fortune of being at Evo this year. And it was my first Evo ever, and you really, it's incredible how much, while people watch the matches at home, you really have to be there in person to really feel the energy of the room and sort of capture the drama of the moment. And it's so cool that you got to be there for that. That's cool. Well, excellent. Well, we've got another question coming at you, this time from File Smile. File Smile asks, what inspires you to get good at Smash? And I believe this was originally spelled get good, G-U-D. So what inspires you to get good at Smash? What drove you to play it in the first place?
I got into Smash because I guess like a lot of people, I had Smash just as a party game, and I thought I was really good because I would beat all my friends. Same story for everyone. Like I would forward smash with Falco and like just do whatever and roll and stuff. And then someone like challenged me to Smash, and I played them, and I just got chain grabbed, and like it was amazing though. Like I hate chain grabs now, but like back then, like experiencing competitive Smash when you haven't experienced anything like it before is kind of like you're in the Matrix. Like you see the Matrix for the first time, like your whole world just like crumbles away. And that's a Scar quote, by the way, I think. But that's kind of how it felt, and it was very like inspiring. So then the person who beat me showed me Ken versus Bomb Soldier videos, and then I picked up Marth actually because Ken beat Bomb Soldier in this like really dominating fashion again with like chain grabs. And for me, like I've never seen anything like chain grabs. Like why in the world in this party game would you be able to grab someone and just like throw them over and over? Like that's like the most absurdly broken but like cool thing ever. So I just wanted to do that to all my friends, right?
You just want to beat them real bad.
But like I don't know, I rewatched those videos and then I realized that Bomb Soldier did a lot of cool stuff. Like I was watching it from Ken's perspective, but then like over time, like as I watched those matches more and more, I saw it from Bomb Soldier's perspective. And like I noticed that he would be doing like all these like laser setups and like comboing Ken across the stage and stuff. And so that was very inspiring. Like I wanted to be Bomb Soldier. Like it just looked cool to be able to do that, like combo someone from like just across the stage, pushing all these buttons, and like I don't know. I just wanted to be cool. I just wanted to be Bomb Soldier. That's really it.
Don't we all? Yeah, it's funny the way that what happened to Smash, the way it grew out of church basements and regional or city regional convention centers into this thing that it is. Along the way, you guys sort of experienced the same epiphany that the rest of us did when games went online. I mean, I remember playing Halo when I was a kid and beating everybody except for my friend, and then I went online and oh boy, it did not go well.
I never thought of it like that. You know, because I guess I'm used to the idea of like everyone just like being able to go online whenever they want. But like I guess in Smash, I don't know. I feel like everyone's like experienced getting their butt whooped like super bad by like a strong competitive player. But I guess that's true. Like for you, you said like you'd play Halo and like you'd go online and like it'd be really rough.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing too. I'd watch Halo matches and I'd see somebody, in Halo it was called four-shotting. If you hit somebody perfectly 3 times, then hit him in the head, that was the fastest way you could kill someone with a battle rifle. And I saw people do that, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. And I spent all my time trying to do it. I did maybe twice, but obviously not the same level of success that you've had. Which, by the way, you've spoken a little bit about your success in the past and maybe how you haven't reached the echelons of people like Westballs and Mango, and yet over the past 3 tournaments you've finished just outside the top 8.
Yeah, I'm a 9th place buster.
I mean, I would kill to be a 9th place buster in Melee, to be honest.
That's the thing. Like I think I've always had something like this where I would be very consistent. Like, I would never really beat anyone that I wasn't expected to beat, but I wouldn't lose to anyone I wasn't expected to lose to. And that's been the case since I beat Mewtwo King, except like that threshold has just been decreasing over time. Like the list of players that I would expect it to lose to would just like increase over time. I guess the placings, like 9th place is still like pretty good, obviously, but I think at least when people look at my 9th place results, they're not like anything unexpected. It's not like I didn't beat anyone amazing to I didn't beat anyone unexpected to get there, nor did I lose to anyone unexpected either. So I don't know how much those 9th place finishes really say. about me. So I don't know.
So maybe for you, it's not necessarily about the number you get at the end of the day, but how you perform relative to your expectations and expectations set for you by other people.
There's that, but it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely that, and just like, I want to keep up with the other players, not just keep up, but be ahead of them. But despite like wanting to do that, I've been falling short as time like goes on, and I don't know. I think part of it is definitely like my own take on the game and the way I practice, and just on me. I think another part of it is just like my incompatibility with Falco right now. Like I think I need to either figure out something with Falco, or I think I need to try out another character, because I think the way I've been learning the game recently, especially with like hanging out with Cactuar so much, like my knowledge growth has been in areas that Falco does not exactly exceed in, which is specifically like movement. And another thing I've been learning a lot is like shield dropping and stuff. And like Falco's movement is not all that stellar, and Falco's like platform shield drop game is not that crazy. It's not used like offensively, it's more of like a defensive thing. So that's why I've been like picking up Sheik, because like Sheik I feel like can use platforms in like a positional and like aggressive way. And I also really like Sheik's like just aggressive movement options, where I feel like Falco doesn't really have that as much. So.
Sure. But I will point out, as while we're on the topic, despite the limitations of Falco that you've enumerated, CEO, PAX Prime, Super Smash Con, there you are. I mean, it has to be said that consistency is not something that comes easily. Perhaps the least, the most difficult thing to obtain through practice.
Yeah, I think consistency typically comes with experience. And I think I have that because, one, I've been playing for a really long time compared to a lot of the other people who are like rising players. So like they'll have like a really hot streak, and then they'll lose in like a matchup that they're not very familiar with, even if they're like the better player, so to say. So there's that, and I also have like a pretty conservative playstyle. So typically like, I don't take huge gambles or huge risks. I'm not just gonna like throw away my stocks randomly. So I think that also helps with my consistency.
That's fair. Well, it sounds like it's an approach that's working for maybe Fox is the secret to Zoo's success. I look forward to seeing how you perform in future tournaments with the new character. And speaking of tournaments and all the tournaments that you've had to play in, our next question actually speaks to how busy you guys have been lately. And he says, Crawfish asks, players have been talking a lot about how stressful this summer of Smash has been with so many majors they've had to go to. What direction do you think the situation with majors okay, it's a little weirdly worded, but basically Crawfish is asking, what direction do you think this tournament structure of Smash will head toward?
If Smash keeps growing, I think that we'll have more tournaments, most likely, and it'll still be very stressful. But I think with all the sponsors and like just money coming in, like the people who are going to be going to like that many tournaments, especially in like a short period of time, will get more assistance, like, either with like the housing or the flights and stuff. And I think that will lower the stress a little bit, like just like figuring out the logistics is kind of annoying, I think, for a lot of people. I think, actually this was talked about in Melee Rami recently, where for these big tournaments, like it might be a good idea to like seed people, like say some of the top players, so that they just play on like the day 2 or day 3. So like have them just have them go through onto round 2 pools or something like that, the way like a regular circuit would, where you would have an open bracket and then you would have like the pro players, right? Mm-hmm. And I think if we go in that direction, that'll help a lot of people with like the stress, again, the logistical side of it, like. Sure. Just having to be there an extra day. Like I think those things can add up and will make it a lot easier for players over time. But yeah, in terms of like the stress of like constantly competing, yeah, I think it's just something we're gonna have to deal with. And I think people are dealing with it better. Like when I see like Westballs, for example, like play in a bunch of tournaments, like when he plays, he's very stone-faced. I feel like he's just used to playing in so many tournaments, and especially because he's in SoCal, he's been playing like weekly, like highly skilled tournaments for a really long time. Like he's used to the tournament pressure. And I think as like time goes on, there's going to be bigger local tournaments, and then other players are going to be going to these like national tournaments more frequently. I think people will just get used to it. So
that makes sense, and it has to be said. You speak to the logistics. One question that we brought up on this show a couple times, on our other interviews with Smash guests, is the idea that you can book a plane ticket to go to California, for example, from the West Coast, and let's say it costs you hundreds of dollars, and there's a good chance you're not going to get that money back. And I can't imagine for you guys as players what it's like to sort of put that money down and go, I'm not going to make this back. And even if I do, it's going to be a hell of a fight to do so.
Yeah, I mean, so like it definitely sucks, but I mean, people have been doing it for a very long time, and at least, well, it's harder now because there's like so many tournaments to go to. But like back in the day, like, you would go to like 1 or 2 or like 3 majors a year. And, like overall, it wouldn't be like that much money. So I don't think people thought of it exactly in those terms. Like, I don't think people outside maybe like the top whatever would like buy their flight and think like, oh my God, like I feel really stressed, like make that money back. Like, I don't know if that's like, that was a huge thing. But like nowadays there's like so many tournaments, like me in particular, like I want to just go to all the tournaments, right? But like I didn't go to Paragon, for example, because like what Crawfish said, like I was kind of burnt out from going to so many tournaments, and it's just like that flight money. Like I couldn't justify going to like Paragon as well as like I'm going to like HTC and I'm going to Big House and I'm there's all these things, and like like people need to take a break. So yeah, it's a struggle, but I think we'll get there. There's definitely more money being put to like help players get to tournaments, and there's like the player funds, there's the community and sponsors, and just like all the people watching are making it happen, so it's good.
Yeah, it has to be said how incredible it is that you said you've been playing for a long time. Players are putting themselves in situations where maybe they're sinking a lot of money into competition, but the passion just seems to be what drives you guys, and I think it's amazing as an outward as an outside spectator to see just how much the love of the game drives you guys.
Yeah, like Smash is a little different from, I would say, the other esports, where like the other esports, it's kind of like esports first, and then the community like revolves around that. Like a company like Blizzard or like Riot will push out this game, they'll put a lot of money into it, and like the community will develop around that. In Smash, the community existed before esports and money and fame all existed. So like we're only here because people really do love the game that much. Like we will like drive and like fly out to these events literally just to play people for nothing more than like, oh, like I got the fulfillment out of like playing like at a really high level, or like, I beat someone, but it's really just pride. So yeah, it's like this community is completely just revolves around like the love of the game, I would say.
And it's that passion that I think put you guys where you are, and it's certainly that passion that's going to put you to who knows where in the future. Obviously, a very exciting time. Is there anything else you want to say to our loving and loyal audience before we wrap up the show for tonight?
Yeah, I'm bitching about Falco a lot. Please don't hurt me, guys. I'm sorry. It's a personal struggle. I don't know. That's the main thing. I'm just really scared what people are gonna say, but I hope you understand. I've gotten a few messages where like people ask me about that, and like they kind of just like wish me the best, and they're like, oh, I hope you're successful with these other characters, and I'm like excited to see like what you do with them, and like I don't know, that really like makes me feel much better about my decision. But I would say that's the main thing. And other than that, Smash Practice, me and Cactuar, we're putting out a lot of content. We have like a video coming out shortly next week that we think will be very helpful to people, specifically on motivation. So if people are kind of struggling with their own motivations to play Smash, or they're not really sure how to find the motivation to get better or how to like properly do that, well, we're going to make a video on that, and hopefully more videos in that area. So in that like psychology-ish area applied to Smash. So
awesome. And you can find that on your YouTube channel, Smash Practice, correct?
Yeah, Smash Practice. That's the name.
Awesome. So look out for that, folks. Julian, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been great picking your brain and hearing all about Falco and about how, being at the center of so many big moments has affected your life. Really appreciate you coming on and answering everybody's questions for us. And that's actually going to do it for us. That is the R Smash Brothers AMA brought to you by The Daily Dot. If you liked what you saw, follow the channel. I'm looking at the monitor. I believe it's down there. No, other side? Down there? I have no idea. Anyway, follow the channel. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Check out the YouTube channel, of course, where the VOD will be posted, so you can catch Zoo's very, very extensive answers to some of your more robust questions at length. Tune in next week. We'll have another Smash guest. We'll have the guest announced to you on Monday, where you can ask questions and come back and visit us. And, we hope to see you again soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. And my name is Ian Barker. Zoo has joined us, and we'll see you next time.